Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 13th seminar of the Saudi Basketball Federation webinar series. Today, we'll start our third seminar of the 3x3 week webinars, and we have an expert in FIBA 3x3 event operations and management. And I'm pleased to have Max Glas, who is the FIBA 3x3 event manager. So my friend Max, welcome to our webinar, and we're very thankful for accepting our invitation and for your generosity to present today's seminar.
Hello, welcome everybody. Hello, Dr. Ghassan. Hello, Radu. I'm happy to join tonight and talk about 3x3.
Yeah, man, thank you very much for that. And we're also having Radu Petre, who's a managing partner at Sports Arena Streetball Company, which is one of the top independent companies to operate 3x3 events in the world, with years of specialized work in the field. Radu, it's been actually a while since we last met in Jeddah and worked together along with Max in World Tour Jeddah. So good to have you today, and I'm sure you're going to add a lot to today's discussion.
Hello, Ghassan. Hello, Max, and hello, everybody. First of all, congratulations on this webinar's idea. I'm a big fan of it, and I cannot help waiting for more to come. And I hope we'll have a good discussions tonight. And yeah, it's been a while since we met in Jeddah, and we are looking forward to meet somewhere on the court soon.
Hope so, man. It's an honor that you guys are with us today. So Max today will be talking about the 3x3 event operation, in which loads of people, I think, are thinking to organize 3x3 event can gain a lot from today's talk. So Max, the mic is all yours.
Thank you very much. Yeah, today we're going to talk about event operations. It's a bit continuation and a follow-up on the webinar that you had last week with Mr. Ignacio and Obaid about the 3x3 in general. And let me allow to share my screen with you guys. I hope everybody can see. Okay, we start right into, but whenever there's questions and comments, Radu, Ghassan, also from the nice experience we had in the World Tour Jeddah last year, it was a very well operated and executed event. Just feel free to comment and jump in. So yeah, we're going to talk about what kind of competitions do we have in the FIBA 3x3 structure. What services FIBA 3x3 team is providing for those events? What is a 3x3 venue? What's the ideal venue? What are we looking for when we look for new venues and new setups? Our, I would say, unique urban approach for those events, and then of course some other order of business with some comments. So this is actually just an overview from the webinar with Ignacio that you had last week. It's quite important to understand that the FIBA 3x3 universe and their events, it's split in two parts. Now in the professional circuit, where the World Tour Jeddah was part of last year and will be part of in the future, and the national team side. And I don't want to go too much in detail about this because you talked about this last week already. The professional circuit is where teams represent themselves and play for prize money, and the national team events, of course, is for the medals, and the teams represent their country. We have around 100 events in total through last year. There was more planned for 2020. Unfortunately, we're a bit stuck in this, but we're still very confident to have a season, maybe not with 100 events, but still a lot. And just to continue, and that's maybe the first interesting part, is what kind of events do we have and what do we offer? So on the professional circuit side, there's obviously the World Tour, which is the pinnacle and the big stage, the world stage, and where you Ghassan and your team jumped in right on the top. And there's levels below that feed this world tour with the challengers and the super quests, and then even below the road to the world tour with the quests and satellites. And the women's series, as mentioned, also launched last year, where we have the first time the professional circuit for women. Then on the national team side, of course, the World Cup in different age categories. We played the World Cup in Open, under 23 and under 18, the Zone Cup finals, so Europe Cup, Asia Cup, qualifiers to those Zone Cups, and under 23 Nations League. And yeah, what is maybe important to say here is that for all those who know World Tour Jeddah, hopefully attended World Tour Jeddah, and hopefully will attend World Tour Jeddah in the future, that's where we are on the left side, on top of the professional circuit. And I think it's a great start, and we had a great event with a great start in Saudi Arabia to build something around 3x3. I think now the next step and the big challenge is now to build a structure below, like kind of a pyramid, now also to give a base to the players to grow into the 3x3 circuit and be successful there. Don't know if there's any comments or questions on this.
I guess I'm gonna leave this to the end of the talk. Maybe.
Okay. Yeah. So the Pro Circus global footprint. I wanted to show this slide also, not only to show that we are everywhere and we try to operate worldwide, and we have really qualifiers that is everything that is in light blue. I also want to show this to make the people understand that the big challenge is to reach consistency throughout all our events in our competition structure, but still leaving the opportunity for the local flavor, for the local footprint within the event. This means we have a lot of standards, because we need to deliver a lot of standards for our partners and sponsors, for TV, for our own media needs. But then still there's a host, there's a local promoter, a local basketball federation behind, and we want to leave the opportunity to them to showcase also themselves and their culture. And that's always, I think, one of the big challenges, to have consistency throughout all these events that we host. And I think Radu can maybe chain in here a bit, because he was with us in a lot of 3x3 events all over the globe, not only in Jeddah and in Romania, also in China, Mongolia, Puerto Rico, wherever we go. It's sometimes more challenging than people think to reach some kind of consistency. Okay, so for the events, what services does FIBA deliver? I try to show this in a little chart here with all the different kind of events, and obviously everything that is green is where we provide the service, and on the left side in the lines you see all the services that we offer. So obviously the event maker, the event management software, where you set up your tournament, the structure, the teams can register, you can make the schedule, and obviously add the players to the teams that are confirmed. So also the players collect the points for the respective country, for the respective team, and for themselves for the ranking. And this obviously goes for all the events that we offer. And in line with this is the FIBA support. So we're always available to help on all the different tools, and also in general on event management. What is very special, I would say, is that our official ball supplier, Wilson, is supplying balls to almost all of the big FIBA competitions that we host. I think this is a big plus, to have consistency with one of the most center parts of our sport, the ball, and to have always the fresh balls on site. It's a big win for all the events. Then the FIBA partner supply in general, I want to mention here that we have a lot of partners depending on the different kind of competitions. One that's obviously Wilson, not only for ball, also for apparel, Peak, also for apparel, and Tissot, our official timekeeper, but also our equipment suppliers, Skeldy Sports, Enleo, Sportcourt, and Magic Sky. They do a great job to help us to reach this consistency throughout the events and deliver to the top events. We do a lot of media coverage. Our FIBA Freaks Free media team is extremely busy and good in using all the content and the audiovisual support that we bring gives them promote the sport, but also help to promote the sport within the country. And we help with availability of the players, the teams, but also FIBA for the media. And then, of course, on the competition side, we deliver a lot of competition supervision to all the events, and even in the smallest events of this chain, which I would say maybe under 23 Nations League, we send so-called FIBA Freaks Free supervisors to make sure that the competition is always in line and the rules are respected and followed. No? And this goes in hand with the last point, the licensed referees. Obviously, we send a different number of licensed referees to each event, but we do send to all of the events to make sure the game is played in the right way. So now we come to the, I think, center part of this webinar and the hopefully fruitful discussion that comes with this, the venue. No? And I want to jump in with how do we start when we look for a venue, and how all the things that happen before you see what you see now on the screen, this picture from World Tour Jeddah, the setup during the game, during playing. There's a lot of work before that actually starts a little bit like this, no, on a drawing of a venue. I would say the average planning time for our top events is at least a year, where we have multiple visits, we have meetings with the municipalities, with the LOC, with the promoter on site, with the agencies involved, also of course with the media, and we have a lot of interaction via phone calls and emails and messages to make each other understand what are the needs, what does the LOC on site need to do, what can we as FIBA Freaks Free team help and deliver. And that's a lot of back and forth. There's a steep learning curve, especially in the first year. And then, of course, the next step is that we exchange technical drawings, like you see here. That I will show you the venue of this drawing right after. That's actually World Cup, FIBA Freaks Free World Cup 2019 in Amsterdam. And from there we build it. No, and there's different ideas on both sides, and we need to find a good way in the middle, also with the suppliers that come from on site. No, the company that is building the bleachers, all the things around the canopy, everything needs to be taken into account, and that's why it's sometimes not so easy and takes some time. Next step, after we have a venue, we need to make sure that it looks good, not only in pictures, also on TV. So checking the main camera angle, checking the views of the cameras. And from there, we move to a detailed drawing phase with a final layout that we actually finalize, and we build the venue from this. And I think we look for a venue, there's three very important points that we always keep in mind. And the first one is the iconic location. No? So just from the drawing that I showed you, this is the end product. This is the World Cup I think on the final day. It's a 2,000-seater stadium. And this is in front of the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam, one of the landmarks not only in the Netherlands, in whole Europe. And I think this is exactly what we want. So we're downtown, it's accessible for the people, it's easy to reach. There's a nice background with this very impressive museum. And you can even see behind the canopy, the courts, and also on the right side, the warm-up court, everything is closed, everything is together. And yeah, I think this picture is just impressive and shows how important is the location. Second very important part is the intimate setting. It shows a picture from World Tour Jeddah from last year. What is important here is that the people are close to the action and they feel part of it. No, and even that, of course, there's security measures that we always need to follow. And this is, again, this is different country by country. But we always need to bring the people as close as possible to the action so they feel as they are part of, and they feel the energy that is going on the court. That's what we call this intimate setting, that is really closed into very close to the court. It's not always important to have the maximum amount of seats. I would say it's more important that we really have this setting where it's close together, it's packed, and there's a real energy coming from the stands on the court, and that will bring the players to do their best. Third point is the fan village. That is very important for us as well. And this is actually also World Tour Jeddah, where you can see right next to the main court is the fan village, where the families can come with the kids. There's a food court. There's, of course, a lot of basketball 3x3 action that you can try it yourself. You can have fun, but also simply if maybe after 4 or 5 games, you maybe want to wait for your favorite team to play again. You have, I don't know, 45 minutes, 1 hour to do something, to eat something. You can just go there and you stay within the event. You stay being part of the event. You still hear the music from the main court. You still hear the MC saying when something crazy is happening. So you can see here also, usually we provide live stream from the main court, and it just creates a great atmosphere around the venue. Then, of course, visibility for our sponsors and partners, both FIBA and local partners, and that's also why I chose 2 different ones. Was with the activation during the World Cup and the Red Bull booth that I think is from Beijing from 2015 or 16. I think it's very important that all these stakeholders that support the event need to be able to showcase themselves and what they do, get in touch with the people, get exposure for their brand. And so we really want to always push for this. Integration. It's a huge word, and I chose, I would say, my personal favorite example of integration of 2 events that usually people I don't think would connect on the first thought. So this is on the left side, you can see a layout of our World Cup in 2017 in Nantes in France. And this event got connected to what is called the Bridge, which is a festive of celebrating 100 years of the connection between the US and France by boat. And so there was boats sailing from the US to France during this festive. And where the ships arrived, that you can see indicated here with these 4 little ships, we had our World Cup. And this is 2 events that do not necessarily people connect, boat and sailing, culture, historic things, but we did it. And we even connected it with, on the right side, you see this, the public viewing part, I would say, that connected those two events. And it was a nice mixture for all the people that were on site, people that came because of the boats, they got exposed to 3x3, and people that came because of 3x3 got exposed to this cultural event. And it was a great thing for the 5 days in Nantes. We're very lucky with the weather, and we just had a great time. And I think there was a lot of synergies and a lot of great atmosphere that is not so usual. And yeah, we talk about 3x3 events. We always talk about the urban approach, all the things that we do around for everybody that is coming, and especially this comes down to entertainment. And I would ask you now, Ghassan, to please play the first video that
Sure.
shows a bit the connection between sports and entertainment from our side.
What you won't, take what you won't, ayy. Take what you won't, say what you wanna say. Just another day to decide if this the game you wanna play. Make what you won't, take what you wanna, ayy. Take what you won't, say what you wanna say. Just another day to decide if this the game you wanna play. Magnificent rap, different day. Act timid while black, living they say. Keep up with a style they never had. Don't mean to brag, I bring it back with pen and pad. All aboard, who's ready to ride with him. Whole sea of greatness, ready to dive in it. Arrive in it, his time's arrive, only time will tell how we'll get it. Sky's the limit, time flies 100 miles a minute, no looking back. This how you build, you a brick we couldn't stack. I put it back, not any track I wouldn't lap. Not a goal with any flow I couldn't catch. Lean up, beam up, no sudden death, we showing your team up. Back with the re-ups, it's the real dirt never could clean up. Make what you won't, take what you won't, ayy. Take what you won't, say what you wanna say. Just another day to decide if this the game you wanna play. Make what you won't, take what you wanna, ayy. Take what you won't, say what you wanna say. Just another day to decide if this the game you wanna play. Yeah, spit it into the tape clip. Get a grip, we lift up, no spaceship. A part of me, keep rhymes in harmony like take 6 with lines you can't fix. Face first, this verse give you a facelift. It's an art when I start the paint drips from a canvas. You asking, I got the answers. The only one to give it, I only spit it with passion. Make what you won't, take what you won't, ayy. Take what you won't, say what you wanna say. Just another day to decide if this the game you wanna play. Make what you won't, take what you wanna, ayy. Take what you won't, say what you wanna say. Just another day to decide if this the game you wanna play.
Perfect. Do we need to press share screen again, or it's shared?
No, you need to share your screen again.
Okay, so we're back. So the video showed all the things that we do aside of the sport itself, and it is I think now even more than 30% of the time that the event is run. We do actually something else than playing the game, and it's not only on the court, as you could see, also next to the court, around the court. And obviously we try to bring everything and every party that is involved in the event at least a little bit on the court. And there's some principles that we always try to enforce. So first thing that is, I think, something unique is that we have all day music. The music never stops. We play and the music is always part of it. And that's very crucial that they have a good DJ, because you always need to make sure if the game itself is exciting, we maybe need to take down the music a bit, no? And if the game is very boring, maybe the DJ has a way more prominent role to keep the people on site. And same goes for the MC. So the host that is going through the day, but also interacting with the fans. Usually we have 2 hosts. One addressing the crowd in English and one addressing the crowd in the local language. Then needs to be a lot of chemistry with the DJ and the 2 hosts. So that's not always so easy. We have the entertainment integrated in part of the rundown. So there's games, entertainment breaks, public activation breaks. We bring people on the court. We bring acts on the court. and then we resume with the games. So it's really a mix of everything. We integrated in the past years the dunking and the shootout competition as part of all the events. And then as we said already in the venue pictures, now there's the whole fan village around. It's very important, and also CSR activities. I think this was part also already last week with Ignacio, that are very important for us around. So integration of new sports and disciplines, that's one of my personal favorite topics, actually. We have some great cooperations with other sports and other disciplines from the urban culture on our court. And you saw in the video, is it BMX, is it breakdance, is it rope skipping? We had some great cooperations in the past, and they're still going on. So we have a very, very good relationship with the WDSF. This is the World Dance Sport Federation that obviously is controlling everything around dancing. So the classic standard dances, but also breakdance, that they got included. They've been part of the Youth Olympic Games for the first time, and we integrated them in our rundown and gave our spectators of FreeX3 a piece of this, and it was very well received. Same on the right side, you see the rope skipping athletes. That was something that, if I may share my personal opinion, that blew my mind. I didn't really expect what was happening there and what was coming to me. So this was a great energy, and that's why we're always looking for new partners from the sports, from the urban sports culture. For example, Baseball 5 that we're talking to maybe team up and use the infrastructure that we built anyway, and give more other things than FreeX3 basketball to the people that come to our event. So yeah, also want to mention a little bit the challenges of these operations, because now everything sounds like, okay, it's all great and everything is always running smooth. No, it's not. It's just should be like this for the spectator. The biggest challenges for running a FreeX3 event is, first of all, find the right balance for who is coming to your event. Is it a FreeX3 fan? Is it a newcomer that sees the sports for the first time? Is it just a fan of the event, of a musician, of a breakdancer, of just having a good time outside? And you always need to know a little bit your crowd and be sure that you do the right things for the people that attend the event, which is different, not only by event, because we travel around, also because there's different cultures involved and different history about the sport involved. So you might go to Bucharest, where Radu and his team did a lot of FreeX3 events, and you will have a lot of people that are FreeX3 fans in the bleachers and in the stands. So you maybe need to address them in a certain way. Or we go to Jeddah, like last year with the World Tour, and we need to give the people this joy of attending the event, and by attending the event, learning how great FreeX3 basketball is. The next thing is that we manage up to 20 games per day. So every game has 2 teams, referees, staff, TV coordination, a team presentation, media availability before, after the games, and this we do up to 20 times a day. So there's a ongoing people coming off the court, going back from the court. There needs to be things done before the games. Everything needs to be coordinated in time. And we basically, we start 20 games a day. There should be an ongoing action for the spectators, no downtime, nothing happening, always something should happen. And then again, as we mentioned again, the cultural needs that should and need to be addressed. And you need to learn and understand and get the knowledge from the local people about what to do in this sense and in this direction. A little bit of outlook for the future. We're working on some new features. We want to definitely engage more with the public that is coming to our event, and This is maybe a little bit a peak in the future, where we're working on a system to allow the public to vote actively during the dunk contest, giving also more visibility to the sponsors, and yeah, just making the spectator that is sitting in the stands part of this experience of the dunk contest, and really having the feeling of deciding who is doing the job better and who is entertaining them better. You should both take a note about this. Maybe you never saw it. Yeah, before we come to the last part, with two last topics before we start into the discussion, I wanted to show a second video, Ghassan, if you may, and it's about the question: why should I host a World Tour?
Honestly, it was by experiencing it for the first time in Abu Dhabi when FIBA flew me out to take a look at the event. We had a successful run with our team Saskatoon that's been playing on the tour. And once I felt the atmosphere of that event and saw that there was a huge overlap between the style of event and the fit in our community, that just convinced me that that would be a great event for Saskatoon, for Canada.
いろいろなスポーツ、特にヨーロッパで花を開いてヨーロッパの皆さんが熱中しているスポーツ、そういったものを日本の国民の皆さん、宇都宮の市民にも知っていただきたい、そしてできればやっていただきたい、そしてそれをどんどん国の中で広めていきたいという思いから誘致をさせていただきました。
We started the cooperation with the FIBA on 3-on-3 in 2012. And from this moment, we believe that the 3-on-3 has a big potential. So the reason why we are organizing a World Tour, that we want to bring the best players on the world to the Czech and show in the Czech Republic the future of the 3-on-3.
Alors on a repris cet événement qui était organisé jusqu'ici par la ville de Lausanne il y a 2 ans avec Grand Chelem, et on l'a repris parce que c'est un événement auquel on croit énormément, c'est un potentiel incroyable.
World Tour Masters is something which is one of the most premium property of FIBA, and bringing that premium property in India would engage a lot of Indian basketball fans. We wanted to bring World Tour Masters in India with the purpose of bringing and exploring the possibility of Indian talent and tell them in a very real manner how competitive this 3x3 format is, and they can get to see one of the top teams in the world.
Take this event as a learning process for our communities, especially for the young kids. And also, this is very good for us to showcase to the world, showing that our culture and our sport event is in another level. That is a very excited, challenging and dynamic event, and it's new, it's Olympic now, people love it.
Desde el punto de vista del mall, de la plaza comercial, evidentemente atrae mucha gente. La ciudad evidentemente también nos trae una repercusión por la cobertura, la gran cobertura que estamos teniendo en medios a través de Televisa y de TDN, como para que la gente se vaya sumando en lo que tiene que ver con básicamente con el clasificatorio que fue a nivel nacional. Vinieron jugadores de diferentes partes de la República, de diferentes estados a competir, cosa que antes no se daba. Es decir, la repercusión es cada vez más alta.
From a tourism marketing perspective, a destination perspective, you can't beat the social media following that 3x3 has put together with 1.5 million followers. That's phenomenal. And pushing a broadcast out to 100 countries, some that we would not normally be able to access, it just provides that avenue. And when people see the dynamic nature of Saskatoon, it's what people are looking for in travel these days. So it really did a lot for us as a destination from the marketing side, but also you can't forget the community development side.
Prague is a basketball city.
この宇都宮の1000年の歴史のある神社で開催されることが日本の伝統とあとアーバンなスポーツの連携がすごくできる場所だというふうに思ってここの宇都宮で開催することを決めました。
To bring America is such a great basketball country. 3x3 is as you could hear, the crowd gets involved, the enthusiasm, the family. For us to see prelude this before the Olympics and bring it into Los Angeles is fantastic.
Alors pour Lausanne, déjà Lausanne c'est la capitale olympique, le canton de Vaud abrite le siège de la FIBA à Mir.
これは、地域のためにもなりますし、やはり、子どもたちの健全育成やまたスポーツの普及拡大にもつながると思います。これから健康で幸せに生き続けていくためにもこの 3x3 を通してぜひ自分たちのそして地域の活性化につなげてもらいたいと思います。
La première chose que je leur dirais, c'est go for it, parce que c'est un événement qui est fantastique, c'est un événement qui intéresse énormément le public et les sponsors potentiels. Bientôt, le 3x3 sera olympique en 2020, donc c'est vraiment un événement qu'il faut accueillir dans votre cité.
The fit of this event is what was magic for us, so absolutely we're keeping our eyes open for other opportunities and looking at what we do, where we go with 3x3 in Saskatoon down the road. So I think it's absolutely a growth sport for us, so we want to stay involved in that, but it does open up the community's eyes to what else we can host.
Okay, thank you, Ghassan. I also wanted to show this video because I think it showcased a lot of the points that we just mentioned again with great images. And if anybody's listening that feels now he needs to host a world tour, this is based in Saudi Arabia, please contact Ghassan. And if you're based somewhere else, please contact the FIBA Freak Street team, and we can for sure find great solutions. No, just some quick additional points before we go on. Aside of this urban approach, now that sometimes leaves the standard things a bit outside. Of course, we do all the standard things event that are important for an event, and the media operations for us is obviously also key. We try to be as available as possible as an organization, but also from a player's point of view, the host point of view, and this is incredibly important, especially if we go to new territory. And this is actually a picture of the press conference of the day before, I think, the World Tour Jeddah, which was, as far as I remember, the biggest, the most attended press conference ever in the history of the World Tour. It was amazing. There was a lot of interesting questions and a lot of interaction, and I was really, I felt very aware of the fact that bringing this the first time to a new territory can raise a lot of questions, a lot of interest, and this was really great. So that's why I also put it here. And then the last slide is looking into the future from an operations point. Of course, we want always to improve our current rundown, for example, with the new presentation tool, with engaging more with the public online and on site. So this is a lot of things that we talk about. And then the ultimate goal is to show this unique experience that we provide during the Tokyo Olympic Games, and make everybody on earth aware of Freaks Free Basketball. And that's it with the presentation and with my monologue that hopefully ends now, and great discussion with Radu and Ghassan.
Max, thank you so much, man. An amazing presentation. I mean, and the videos, and you remind me with those super nice days. I was so excited during those days in Jeddah, World Tour Jeddah, and I was very honored to work with you guys. And the outcome was just fantastic. And apparently, Saudi Arabia have done so many events during the year of 2019. And mega events, including Formula, including tennis, and so many others. And you know, with the good work that you guys and our partner over here, we were one of the top 5 events in 2019, sport event in 2019, and that wouldn't be possible without the support of FIBA. You guys were amazing. I mean, you were there all the time between you, your team, Ignacio, and everyone, plus our partners and operation partners during the World Tour event, Sports Arena and Creative Edge. But, you know, I do have list of questions, man, for you.
Of course.
But I'm going to leave the mic now for Radu. Radu, do you want to say something?
Well, first of all, Max's presentation was a bit painful because nowadays we cannot host these events, and obviously we all miss them. And what I would add here probably is that 3x3 is a fantastic opportunities for not only for the sports, but also for the cities to promote themselves throughout the world, like the video was, the last video was explaining so well. And also, obviously, there is a lot of work behind the event, like you mentioned, with all the parties involved. And I think the key to success is the passion of the people behind the scenes. So yeah, it's a huge effort for an event that lasts between 2 and 5 days. But if we have everywhere in the world results like we had in Jeddah, for example, then I think everybody's happy. And again, we all miss this event so much these days.
Indeed.
Yeah, this is what Radu mentioned is I think one of the key points to success. Now that we are lucky enough to work with partners and stakeholders and parties throughout, from the FIBA side, from an operational side, from a host side, from a partner side also. All our partners are always very involved, and you need to share this passion of doing great events. And it is always good if people outside do not see the operations and they do not see the things that might go wrong a little bit. Everybody that is attending the event and seeing the event should have a great time, and those people that are here now, they should have the small struggles and solve them. But as Radu said, with great passion and great working together, also finding a solution. If there's a problem, you need to look for the solution and not for not what caused the problem. And me, myself, and the whole FIBA Freaks team, we are lucky enough to have these partners in our hosts, like you, Ghassan, and our operational partners like you, Radu, and your teams, to make these great events. That, yes, it is painful to watch, but we'll be back, and then we'll have a lot of fun again.
Radu, you can tell that we really love the game, that me and Max, we have, look up there.
Yeah, here's the ball.
So about time to take it down and go back to court. So let me start with a question that is in my head, and apparently someone else have posed this question, which is our $1 million question. Do you know when does the next event take place locally in Saudi Arabia and, you know, the rest of the world?
I let you go first, talking about the local Saudi Arabia
Well,
events.
look, I guess it's the same situation everywhere. With this COVID-19 pandemic, it's uncertainty times that we really don't know when exactly we can go out. I know some of the leagues will start soon. Some of them will start tomorrow, football. But I mean, with the 3x3 big competitions, I think it's not going to be very easy. In Saudi Arabia at this moment, we ban all kind of sport events and leagues. So we really don't know until the government and the Ministry of Health would come out and say, well, you guys can go back to normal. I think later on we can put our plan. But at this moment, I think in Saudi Arabia, it's impossible. You know.
I think you're right. Nobody can tell for sure what is happening, but there's one thing about 3x3, and also this is an operational aspect, that I think even delivering a huge event, a great event as we saw in the videos, we're able to operate and execute it in a rather short time period if we need to now, especially if we have a host and partners that understand what they need to do and have some learnings from previous editions. So as we let's take World Tour Jeddah as an example, that of course last year, the first year, it was a steep learning curve for everybody involved. But now we know each other, we know what the event is capable of. And I think we all saw that the sky is the limit on this one. So as soon as there's a go, we as 3x3 team are able to come back in a rather short time period that I will not name now, because otherwise I can see Ghassan and Radu quoting me on this in 2 weeks.
So Radu, the question is for you. If you have given the green light to start up a 3x3 event, did you guys line up at least some of the limitations or some of the stuff that you guys measures that you might take during those 3x3 events?
Well, so today was the first relaxation day in Romania, and you could already see how crowded the city was, because everybody wanted to go out. So currently, also in Romania, everything is stopped, and we're thinking of all the measures that we can take in order to be able to start as soon as possible in safe conditions, because this is very important these days. But yeah, the main issue is that the future is uncertain. We don't know what's gonna come, when, but hopefully soon we will be able to be back on the court, regardless of the format initially, at least to be able to go out there. And this is one of the advantages of 3x3, is that it's a sport with a small footprint. So basically you can do it anywhere almost, and also is an outdoor sport. So we will have some sort of priority towards other disciplines or other sports. So yeah, we hope to be back really soon, really soon.
Well, I hope so. I hope so. Let me take questions from people watching this webinar. There's J.R. Latson, said the 3x3 game is more developed outside the USA, outside of the USA. What do you think about the Hooplet Up initiative in the US? Thank you. I actually don't know about it, but possibly Max.
Well, I think they talk about Hoop It Up and
Hook It Up. Yeah,
Hoop It Up. So last year, I think was the first year. I hope nobody in my team is killing me now. Last year was the first year that we actually cooperated with Hoop It Up, and they become a qualifier with challenger. It is true that FIBA 3x3, as with the rules we use to play this game, is maybe not as developed and as in the US as in other parts. But this is, I personally think, also mainly because streetball is so deep in the culture in the US and maybe bigger part of the whole urban culture than in any other parts of the world. So it also will take some time to break through this, no, and to convince the people that FIBA 3x3 and the way we host events and we play the game is the global one, and it's the one that is gonna be in the Olympics. And I think we can clearly see that the US is picking up, and we have more and more teams that are professional already and teams that are on the way to get professional, and more very skilled players from the US joining the circuit. So the comment is true, yes, but I see a very positive effect here.
Great. He also asked, is the Wilson ball going to be used in the Olympics?
Yes, exactly. This ball that everybody knows with the wave technology and the colors blue, orange, and yellow is used in the Olympics. Of course, there will come a special edition with the word mark. And actually, we wanted to play the whole 2020 season already with a special ball for this occasion, but people need to wait a little, and then everybody will be able to see the little design tweaks that we did for our first Olympics.
Fab, exciting. So Radu, basically you guys have started a business, the 3x3 business, in the very early stages of the game, right?
Yeah, our first event was in 2005.
Wow. All right. So I guess you guys, if not the most expert people, you are possibly one of the most expert.
We also like to think so.
Yeah. All right, that's good. You guys are on the right track. But let me ask you this. I mean, you guys definitely cannot do all the competitions in the world. You cannot be part of it. I know you want to, but I mean, let's be realistic. To develop this game, you need more and more operation teams in each country, I would say, particularly for those small events. What is your tip for those people who want to start up an operation team to do a 3x3 event, small 3x3 event?
Well, first of all, I think regardless of the type of event, whether it's a small local event or the World Tour or even the World Cup or the World Tour final, I think it's important to have the quality standard in place, because people are coming mostly for the atmosphere around 3x3, because the atmosphere around 3x3 is unique. So that's why I always say that even as in a small event, you need to plan carefully in all aspects of the operation side. You need to train your people, and you need to do more and more of these events in order to create the fan base needed for the bigger ones and the popularity in a region or a local country. When we started in 2005, basically we started by learning ourselves. You have to understand what are the needs of the players, what are the needs of the fans, and I think the balance showed in the movies that we've seen with 70% sports and 30% entertainment is the right one. Because 3x3, it's all about competition, but also about friendship and the atmosphere surrounding the game. So an organizer should cover all these operational aspects involved when he plans a tournament. It doesn't mean that for a small event you need to have a team of 50 people involved, because in a small event one can take more of different activities. But again, I think regardless of the event, it's important to ensure that the event level is high quality in the end. And again, I would advise everyone to start doing 3x3 events from US, where yes, there is a lack of popularity, but it doesn't mean that US is not growing in 3x3. Look, we just had Sabrina Ionescu, the #1 pick in the WNBA draft, playing 3x3 in the World Cup in Manila in 2018, and also some women's series in 2019. So US is picking up, and yeah, I think the key to develop the game is to organize small events very often and a lot of them.
Max, what would be FIBA role on helping those organizers to start up their business, start up their event operation? I know that you guys are providing some of the tools that you mentioned before in that table, but do you guys give them any educational courses? Or I know there's also a manual, but I know some other more educational stuff. Are you thinking about it, or do you guys currently have something?
So let me first stress out one point from what Radu mentioned about how to approach organizing 3x3 events. I think one of the most important things, doesn't matter scale of event, is that it's ongoing action, or that it's always something is happening on the court. And this is just my tip on starting. And this is what is maybe a little bit challenging, but it will bring the reward of having this unique experience around the 3x3 event. As you mentioned, yes, we provide, of course, to everybody our tools that are for free, the event maker and the support here, all the help links on our website and all the information. But then, of course, I think we are very available and very accessible for everybody that has questions, dedicated questions about how do I start setting up a tour? Why do I have to do certain things? Maybe I should do things in a different way for my approach. If you have an idea and you want to go somewhere and you can express this idea, we are always available. You just need to write an email at 3x3@fiba.com, and we'll get in touch with you and provide you with the right answers to your questions. That might be a manual because it's a very straightforward question, or it's simply about rules. It might be videos about officiating, about the rules, about how the game is played, or it might be simply a webinar or a call or a Skype call to really address certain questions and needs of those people, and ultimately getting them in touch with maybe people in the region that we know, people that are close, that we trust, that we worked with in the past. Is it promoters or is it partners like Sport Arena? To get them in touch with them, to share the experience. But I think what is still very unique about us, that we as FIBA 3x3 team, we are very accessible for those people that really want to start and have an idea in mind.
Great, and I can assure that your words. I mean, you guys were with us 24/7 on the phone, by email, and not just one person, the whole department of FIBA 3x3. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
Let me take questions as well from audience. So John Wayne said, when do you think next live events will start again and continue? I guess we answered this one. Dennis Trovato, hello, is 3x3 available as computer game too?
I have to laugh now because we talk about this a lot lately. So 3x3 as a game with the full rules at the moment is not available. But obviously he's not the only person that is asking about this, and there's integrated in a lot of games like NBA 2K. There's a Streetball version that is not really following the rules, let's say, and there's some arcade solutions, I would say, about 3-on-3 basketball. I don't know where it goes. Discussions are still very brief within our team, but I think Radu should chime in here because they they launched some kind of series, tournament series with Sport Arena in Romania, using the 2K software and monitoring the rules to be played as FIBA Freaks Free.
Since everybody's staying at home and there is not much you can do, we had this idea of organizing an online tournament, and the closest to our idea was to use the NBA 2K20 platform, and there is a blacktop mode that can be also played online, which provide the 3x3 version played on a half court. And players had a lot of fun last weekend in Romania. We had a tournament with 24 players online. It was over 3 days. And we plan to do another one next weekend, and to see how it goes from there. So, but currently, the blacktop version in NBA 2K20 is the closest to the FIBA 3x3 rules. It's not identical, but it's close. And given the current situation, is the closest we can get.
A good solution.
A good solution indeed. Actually, I'm also aware that FIBA been working on doing a tournament of 5-on-5 using NBA 2K. I guess they are still in talks, but I'm aware that they're working on it these days. But yeah, I mean, we don't know how long this is gonna take, but why not?
Yeah.
So Dennis also asked another question. He said, 3x3 is great success story with a great target step at Olympics, Tokyo 2020. What influence has the shift to 2021? Even more famous through 1 year more time to prepare.
Oof, that's a
serious question out there.
I think postponing the Olympic Games is not only for us, it's for the Olympic Games, not the first time. And the first time this exception, if we take out the war measures that we're taking in the past. To be honest, I personally do not think that this will help the success, because it just makes a lot of things way more complex from a qualification standpoint, from a preparation standpoint, from all the operations that have been planned since 4 or 5 years towards specific dates in 2020. So I don't think there's an upside for anybody to regarding the SWIFT of the games to 2021. Nevertheless, I think our success will be there. As Ignacio mentioned also last week, we have some great ideas, and we will bring this experience of 70% sport, 30% entertainment to the Olympic Games in a stadium, in an outdoor arena with 6,500 seats, packed, a lot of sessions with a lot of great content. And for me, it's clear that it will be a success story of the Olympic Games, if it's 2020 or 2021.
Great. So my other question is actually for me and for some other people. I'm sure that they're asking, what's the differences between Challenger and Super Quest?
So the Challenger is an international invitation tournament that we build a structure below of tournaments that qualify towards a Challenger, that at the end of the day they come from everywhere around the world, no? And the Super Quest has a more regional approach, especially in regions where 3x3 is not as developed. And I think Ghassan, we can mention that we have planned one in Saudi Arabia, in order to help this region to develop, because we will have more teams from this region playing in this Super Quest, getting a shot to qualifying to the World Tour. And I think, yeah, the biggest difference is the qualification towards this event. In the Super Quest, there's a way more regional approach to help develop 3x3 in a certain area than in a Challenger, that is where basically it's different tournaments below that qualify to this Challenger. Doesn't matter where they come from regionally.
Yeah, But again, the Super Quest can qualify to the World Tour, the teams that win.
Correct. There's
So
a direct access and a direct link.
Then the differences between the satellite and Quest.
So the Quest is a tour within a country that, for example, also Radu is running one in Romania that is qualifying to the World Tour, and the satellite is qualifying to a challenger that can be a standalone event also. So if you are starting, you want to be part of the whole pro circuit, and you want to do one event, then a satellite can be a good start because you have this opportunity to send a team to a challenger. A Quest is you usually should have big activity in your country, a series of events with a final, and then this final is qualifying to the World Tour directly. And maybe Radu can add some comments here because he's in the satellite and challenger business than nobody else.
Exactly. Radu.
So basically, we figured out starting in 2006 that a series of events would ensure the growth in popularity of 3x3. So basically, currently we are running in Romania a Quest and a Challenger, but the Quest is dedicated. The beauty of the Quest is that you can do various age categories. So the Quest is a tour open to all. Yes, you have the open man categories that qualifies to the World Tour, but in a Quest event you can have players from all age categories. In Romania, we run events up to 200 teams per weekend. So because this is the demand, and I'm sure that in every corner of the world, if this is provided, then people will join, because 3x3 is a beautiful sport, and basketball is a very popular sport all over the world. So I'm a big advocate of the Quests for the development of 3x3.
I like the idea of the Quest, and I've actually, just to let you know, we were hoping to do something similar in Saudi Arabia, and we had some plans to start a Quest in the country. We put up all the plans and everything, and everything just next year possibly. And you actually answered the question. I put one of the questions as a series of events versus popularity, and you just proved that is true. If you have a series of events, the popularity of the game will go bigger, and that will help the game at the end. I have a question about sponsors, because I've been asked this question many times before, and it is quite challenging, particularly when we were going through this discussion of the World Tour in Jeddah. One of them is, for example, the jerseys. If we can put any advertisement in the jerseys, blah blah blah. But in the World Tour, I think in Challenger you can do that, but you cannot do that in World Tour, right?
Correct.
And now, as we know that the sponsor of the jerseys has been changed, does that rule still apply?
You will find out.
We'll find out. Okay, so it's still not announced yet.
So no, there's no to this question, and we are well aware that obviously this is a big asset for the local sponsors, but also for the teams themselves to help them professionalize. And there's a first step that we wanted to take, and we will take in the 2020 season, that will allow teams to carry a small sponsor in a dedicated space on the short, actually. So we also have the opportunity to learn in this process about how to develop this sponsor visibility further. So the trend, to answer your question, the trend is clearly to have the sponsors.
I guess that's important, and yeah, we see the struggle of those teams. They travel a lot, and some of the top teams, I've seen one of the top teams staying. They arrived early on the day before the event, that they couldn't even check in, and they stayed for like they are one of the most teams that make money, and they stayed for like I think what 10 hours outside the hotel just because they didn't want to pay, and that's the way they are doing it. They didn't want to pay for the half a day at the hotel because they want to save money because they are quite tight. And possibly stuff like this, when they are allowed to put some sponsors on the short, or that will give them some space and you know.
For sure, it will definitely help them to professionalize themselves and to commercialize their team and their brand, the brand as a team, all around the world. And this is why with the new sponsorship in place, we'll open this category carefully in small steps because we also need to learn, but we'll do it.
Very good. Radu, how do you cope with the number of events you guys are doing? If you have like 2-3 events, let's say every week, and I've experienced the toughness of being around or taking care of an event, and I mean, lack of sleep, and you just be on the phone the whole time. How could you guys do this on a continuous basis? Besides you, I know that you don't have a problem with sleeping, so besides that.
I miss those sleepless nights that we also had in Jeddah. But again, it's all about the passion, and I've been fortunate enough to be always surrounded by people that share the same passion with me. So you don't take into account the fact that you are tired, because the goal is to deliver a successful event, and then probably this is the most beautiful moment after an event, the group photo that we had also in Jeddah with the team and everything. And yeah, we had last year we had weekends with 5 or 6 events locally in Romania and in different parts of the world, but we managed to keep us going. And I think it's all about the passion. Yeah, if there is passion, and I saw it also with you, Ghassan, in Jeddah. So basically, in those times, I don't think anybody felt tired. We felt really tired afterwards, but yeah.
I slept for 2 continuous days, man.
Yeah.
I think to continue on Radu's point, yes, it's all about passion, but what I think is great about 3x3, and I hope you experience yourself, Ghassan, is that you have the actual feeling of, if you go this extra mile, it has an impact on the event, and you have somehow a better outcome, and that's why I think we are all able to do it. And we had these meetings now in the office in Jeddah, and I walk in, and there was always people from Spadarina. There was always Ghassan and his team around. Everybody wanted this event to be a huge success, and then you're able to go the extra mile because you really have this idea of this has an impact on the positive outcome. And then, as Radu said, the best moment is if the event is over, everybody's smiling, everybody's happy. There was some small problems, but nobody thinks about them anymore. And you have just a good team photo, and that's all it's going to take.
Exactly. And we learn from our mistake. I mean, we had mistakes, and little ones, and did not affect the overall of the success of the event, the huge success actually of the event. For first timers, for people who haven't done 3x3 event before, we've done small ones, not even comparable to the World Tour. I think we working all together, the collaboration that we've done was just a huge success. Ubaid Madani, he's a board member, and he's the head of 3x3 committee in Saudi Arabia. You guys know Ubaid.
Yes.
So he said that I'm all looking forward to organize another World Tour in KSA with you guys. Learned a lot from the last time. That's something we haven't mentioned, that Saudi Arabia have applied to currently is will host the World Tour final, supposedly. I mean, that's in the plan.
Yeah.
And now you mentioned the Super Quest in Saudi Arabia, which I believe it's in Neom, which is a new city been developed in the country, and they want to use 3x3 and some other sports as well to let people know about this project.
Yeah.
And I think it's the best promotion way to reach out, even if they make a team. Imagine they do have a team called Team Lyon, and they go and play abroad. It's something, you know, the success story of Team Jeddah. People never heard of a city called Jeddah possibly abroad in Europe, and all of a sudden there's a team called Team Jeddah, and they won a challenger in China, and they were fourth in Debrecen World Tour, and they were 10th in the World Tour final.
Yeah.
And I think that's a story that we can use, even though that not all the team are Saudi players, but at least, you know, we formed a team out of players that were not super known. Some of them, they were known in their countries, but like Khalid, well, nobody knew about Khalid Abdul Jabbar. Nobody knew about some other players, and all of a sudden they're known to the 3x3 community. And I believe 3x3 would be a great tool for municipalities, for government, for to promote their cities, and we definitely need their support. And I've mentioned that before, and I need to emphasize this, that, you know, even FIBA, even federations, even promoters and operation companies, they need to work with municipalities to convince them that this would be a great tool to promote the city.
I think.
Yeah, say.
No, I think everything you said is right, and it is a great tool to promote the city. But as we said, no, also to promote the project, the Freaks-Free basketball and basketball in general. As you said, Team Jeddah, maybe not so many people heard about it, and then they go to China, they win it, and I don't know how many people Googled. Okay, in China they don't Google, but they Bing or whatever they use.
Yeah.
They type in Jeddah and they see it, no? And as you said, Khaled is a great example of that he can become a role model for so many young basketball players or people that think about basketball, that there's success is possible. And I remember, I think it was my first or my second day when I arrived in Jeddah. I think I was in the car with you, and we drive on the highway, and there's this huge building with this, I think, the biggest LED screen in the world. And there's just a picture of Khaled there promoting the event, and you told me he was there for several weeks. And this is something, no, that the young generation can look up to and say, okay, I also want to be there. I also want to be on the LED board, and everybody can see me, and my whole family can see me. And as you said, it is a great tool for cities to promote themselves, but also for the teams and for the players. So it's overall a great tool. FIBA Freaks 3 is just excellent.
Indeed.
There are so many cities that were put on the map and brought in front of the great audience with 3-on-3. I would mention the Ulaanbaatar from Mongolia, and how crazy are the Mongolians about 3x3. It almost became a culture over there. Also the Novi Sad, Debrecen, Saskatoon, Utsunomiya, Bucharest, even Jeddah also. So it's not only a great promotion tool, but it's a very affordable promotion tool.
Yeah, I totally agree. I guess we're nearly the time is taking us. So I guess we'll take one last question from Aboud. How many teams will be in 3x3 Olympics 2020?
So we'll have 8 teams per gender that we play over 5 days. Those 8 teams play a round robin, everybody against everybody, and then the first 2 teams go directly to semifinal, and the teams 3 against 6 and 4 against 5 play a knockout game for being the second teams in the semifinals, and then of course final and bronze medal game.
All right. That's a different way of playing than any other previous tournaments, right?
Exactly. It's a previous. It's a different way of doing it. The idea of letting the first two of the group through directly. This is not new. It's just that we didn't do it for a couple of years. With the number of 8 teams, we also wanted to provide a high number of games, not to showcase ourselves. And this is why we chose this pool of 8, because like this, we have 5 days of competition and are able to show the world how great FreeX3 is.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, the qualification system for the Olympic Games was unique and was pretty much based on how popular 3x3 is in a certain territory. And yeah, I'm very proud that Romania is already part of the qualified teams in women alongside Mongolia. And as Ignacio said during the webinar, it is the pure proof that 3x3 is for everybody. Everybody get a chance in 3x3.
I mean, the story of actually Romania and Mongolia, particularly those two countries, is fantastic in 3x3. And I mean, federations, countries need to look what you guys have done to this sport and how fast you've, not how fast, how the hard work you guys have done to develop the game in the countries. And the credit goes not just to the federations, the credit goes to even companies that operate and organize those events in the country.
And then soon, on the way to Paris 2024, we see a Saudi team.
Well, you never know.
Challenging the spots, I hope.
Hope so, hope so, hope so. Any last words, Radu, before we wrap up this webinar?
Yeah, first of all, again, congrats for the webinars idea and congrats for everything that you guys are doing in Saudi for 3x3 and for sport in general. We are looking forward, I'm sure also Max is looking forward to seeing you guys on site next time as soon as possible. And we are grateful for the event and the cooperation that we had with all the parties involved, including the Saudi Basketball Federation, FIBA, Creative Edge, and of course, we are part of it as well. And we hope to replicate the success of World Tour in Jeddah, hopefully this year.
Hope so, man. Last words, Max?
Yeah, thank you very much, Ghassan, for hosting Radu and myself. I'm very looking forward to going back on the road and to do the operations of 3x3 events like in Jeddah, to have great cooperation again with all the people and parties involved. It's a great experience to share on this webinar. It was a great talk. Thanks again to you, Ghassan. Thanks also to Obey that it seems he's watching us for everything you guys did for World Tour Jeddah, and looking forward to World Tour Jeddah and World Tour Final Riyadh of 2020 season.
Thank you very much for you and for Radu. Actually, yes, I have to thank Abed. Abed been working really hard with us, and particularly on 3x3, and he's been following all the webinars. He's always there. So, you know, I would like to thank Max Glas for his excellent presentation, in which can be a reference to many current and prospective event organizers. I also like to thank my friend Radu Petre for being part of today's webinar. You indeed have added a lot to today's subject. So our next seminar is this coming Wednesday, the 20th of May, with Mr. Maruf Maulud from FIBA Asia. He is the Sport and Competition Assistant Manager and the person responsible for data, stats, and eligibility in FIBA Asia. Maruf will be talking about statistics in basketball and competitions. So this Mr. Fath Al-Gassab also will be as a guest. He's a board member and head of the technical committee. So it will be a very, very, very nice webinar and important to people who are interested in statistics. Lastly, I hope that we all unite to fight this pandemic and save lives by simply staying home and act responsibly. Stay safe and Assalamu alaikum.